Good afternoon. It's meteorologist, or excuse me, good evening. It's meteorologist Michael Fecke. We're back here again with another weather show. We do this every night, Monday through Friday, or even on the weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms as well as to Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So if you are joining us from either of those platforms, please feel free to leave us a question or a comment. Hopefully we'll be able to address anything as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer anything individually for you. But let's get started here with a look at our headlines. Of course, we have added that alert day in effect for tomorrow morning only. We're tracking out again that hard freeze, the first one of the season, overnight tonight, and we're also looking at the potential for some additional snow showers through tomorrow morning, likely moving in during that morning commute. So that could cause some travel headaches, but I'm really not expecting a huge impact from it. It's more of just like a, hey, heads up, make sure you use a little extra caution and give yourself a little extra time for tomorrow morning. But once we get through this little brief track down into winter here for the next few days, we are going to start to warm back up once we get towards the middle and end of the work week. So let's break it all down here. We've got our current setup right now. We have this area of low pressure that actually passed by last night. If you remember, we had some showers and even a few thunderstorms. That was all associated with that cold front, and that cold front was a powerful one, bringing in very, very cold air, a true Arctic plunge from the poles now. As this cold air works its way in from the north, it's cranking out some pretty serious lake effect snow bands across all of the Great Lakes, and eventually some of those snow bands and snow showers are going to drift their way down into the tri-state overnight and into early Monday morning. Now, right now, everything is fairly light and very scattered, or even isolated for that matter. We're just looking at a few flurries and some snow showers across the tri-state right now, picking up on some there in Wayne County and Edwards and Wabash County. We've got heavier showers out down towards Jasper and Du Bois, and even out there into northern Perry County. And then further off to our south, we had that little heavier band or heavier snow shower that actually moved into the Evansville area a little bit before, like an hour ago, and that reduced visibility significantly for a very short period of time. But that's kind of what we're going to be dealing with overnight tonight. It's just going to be these on and off snow showers and some flurries, and then again some more through tomorrow morning. But here's a look at the timing of everything. So through the rest of the night tonight, again, it shouldn't be too active out there. We should just be partly cloudy with a few of those flurries and light snow showers occasionally drifting on through. It's not until we get into Monday morning that we see a little bit more of an organized band of snow showers begin to drift in from the north. You can see they drop in by around 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning and then continue to dip through the south as we go through Monday morning and eventually clear out of here once we get into Monday afternoon. So it's not going to be a heavy amount of snow, and really I don't think we're going to see a whole ton of accumulation from it either. Most of us are likely just going to see a dusting on grassy or elevated surfaces, areas like on your cars, maybe on your porch, your banister, on your roofs and stuff like that. So there may be a little extra time you need to give yourself just to warm that car up, maybe swipe some of that snow off your windshield, but really not expecting a whole ton of accumulation, especially on roadways, not expecting them to really snow over or ice over. However, you should still watch out for some slick spots. Of course, use caution. It is still wintry weather. It's not a huge winter storm, of course, but still, it's kind of a good way to ease ourselves in to this time of year. So use this day where it's not too serious of a snowstorm to kind of practice making sure you know what to do, when you're out driving in a snow shower. Go slow down. Don't slam on the brakes. If you encounter a slick spot, make sure you're turning into where you're skidding rather than the opposite way. Just those things, get them, start to remember them because obviously as we head into the winter months, a lot of us are out of practice with that. So that's kind of what this first alert is all about, just kind of giving you a heads up, not only for giving yourself extra time and extra caution, but of course there is going to be, of course, that hard freeze, so it's going to be cold out there, making sure you guys are bundled up and layered up and making sure you're not taken by surprise from some of these snow showers. So that is kind of what that alert is all about. So let me go ahead and check out some of the comments. I'm sure you guys have questions and I'm happy to answer them. But let's take a look. Jeanette says, good evening. Lacey's watching from Henderson. Winds blew on my door and I locked it so it won't blow it open. Yeah, some of these little snow showers can pack a little bit of a punch in terms of the breeze there. So it can briefly reduce those visibilities. Good evening. Very nippy with just a little snow, says Darlene. Sargent, he is saying good evening from Owensboro. Zach is asking, are we expected to get sleet tomorrow too, or just snow? And is Evansville expected to get any severe thunderstorms for the week after this upcoming work week? Evansville, we're expected to get, just those light snow showers moving through tomorrow morning. Not expected to really be mixed with anything, because I think at the time that they're moving through, temperatures will still be below freezing. However, once we do get into the afternoon, most of that activity will be drifting out of here, but I can't completely rule out maybe on the backside, especially over western Kentucky, where the last of the showers will be exiting. As temperatures start to climb back up above freezing, you may see a little bit mixing there, but not really seeing that as a huge potential. Mostly just some snow showers. And in terms of your question for any severe thunderstorms for next week, for the upcoming week, not really expecting anything at this time. I will break down our next best chances for showers and thunderstorms, though, coming up in this show. So stay tuned. Paula says, don't mind the snow, but I could do without that wind. I agree. The wind makes it a lot worse. It just cuts through all of the layers. That's why I really want you guys to bundle up tomorrow morning. I know it's not like we're going to be looking at single-digit wind chill values or negative single-digit wind chill values, but again, it's the coldest air we've had so far this season. And I do think a lot of us aren't really used to it yet, especially because it was so warm. Even just yesterday, we were nearly 70 degrees yesterday afternoon, and today we hardly cracked out of the 30s. So a huge shift. So it's hunting season, says Paul. How dangerous is the freeze going to be at 4 a.m.? Got to drive from Owensboro to Muhlenberg. Well, at that time, we're expecting just partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will be cold, though. They're going to be down into the 20s, and the breeze is going to make it feel a lot worse. So I just want to make sure that, if you're going to be out there, you're going to be bundled up properly so that, you don't get cold. Jeanette says, good evening. What about Morganfield, Kentucky and the snow, asks Karen. Well, you're going to be on the same boat, on the same page as everyone here. We're just going to be tracking out those scattered snow showers through tomorrow morning. I do think the best odds for the snow showers are still going to be mostly east of the Wabash River. So, all of our friends there in western Kentucky all have that chance to see some snow showers through tomorrow morning as well. Joseph says, was a cold one out in the woods today? Yes, it was. And it looks like Leslie is saying good evening from Madisonville. So that is all the questions and comments I'm seeing so far. I'm going to continue here with the forecast. This is going to be kind of like part 2 to that alert day. So again, we're tracking out some flurries tonight, not expecting much in the way of accumulation. And then we get into tomorrow morning, another round of some more scattered snow showers will swing through. We could pick up a dusting for areas mainly east of the Wabash River, but a lot of us will probably see a dusting on only elevated or grassy surfaces. So roads shouldn't become too treacherous. However, they will be just wet and could even still have a few small slick spots. So be on the lookout for that as you head out the door for school or for work. In terms of the temperatures, though, you'll notice by the time you're waking up early tomorrow morning, they'll be down into the mid-20s, but the wind speeds are also going to be picking up as well, gusting upwards of 30 miles per hour possible through tomorrow morning as well during the coldest time of the day. So those wind chill values are going to be well down into the teens at that time, especially as you're waking up. So we're going to be down into this kind of mid-category here in terms of what you should be wearing to dress as you head out the door. 2 to 3 layers are recommended, especially for the top half, and maybe just 1 to 2 layers on the bottom there, and a good warm pair of boots, and remember a hat and some gloves as well if you can. But again, as long as you're layered up properly, you shouldn't really have too much of a fight with that cold. But again, it's the wind that really cuts through everything. So that is going to be a shocker for many of us as we wake up tomorrow morning. But again, so snow showers in the morning, cold, blustery, wind chill values in the teens, light dusting possible on elevated and grassy surfaces. And then once we get into the afternoon, I think we're going to gradually clear out of the cloud cover. We may actually even see a little bit of sunshine for the second half of the day tomorrow. And then we'll start to warm up once we get through the middle of the work week. So looking at our temperature trend for November 15th through the 19th, we are expected to remain above average. So looking at our graph here, you can see we'll be right down below there. Our high tomorrow is actually going to be the same as our average low. So it is cold. We'll only top out in the upper 30s to around 40, waking up to temps in the 20s, not only for tomorrow morning, but then again on Tuesday morning. But we will start to warm back up to around 50 by Tuesday afternoon for Veterans Day, staying dry with some partly cloudy skies. And then we'll see plenty of sunshine on Wednesday. Winds will become southerly, and that's what's going to help warm us back up into the lower 60s, so back up above average, and then we'll hang out in the 60s through the end of the work week and into next weekend, possibly even topping out at around 70 by the time we get into Saturday. However, that is going to be out ahead of a potential cold front. So that means it's not going to last forever, and we're likely going to have some showers to contend with once we get into that. But that is all the way into next weekend. So pretty far out. A lot's probably going to change with it, but let me show you just what the next week looks like on our longer range European model. So we clear out of the clouds and the snow for Monday. We stay dry with high pressure off to our south, even into Tuesday, Wednesday, into Thursday. And then we may see a few sprinkles or a few spotty showers out there Friday morning. And then once we get into Saturday night, it looks like this model wants to bring that cold front through, and that'll spread in some widespread showers, rain, maybe even some thunderstorms thrown into the mix. Again, it's a little bit too early to tell with any sort of synoptic scale if there's going to be any severe weather with this, but it will be our next best chance for some widespread rain within the next coming week. And of course, it's also coinciding with that warm up. So that'll kind of just be our next big change to the forecast. But there's a look at our 7-day. I'm going to pull that up full screen so you guys can get a better look at it. I'm going to take one more look at some of the comments. If you guys have any more questions, I'd be happy to answer it. Jake Daniel says, first taste of winter. And Jeanette, she's eyeing up that 70-degree temperature for Saturday. I am with you there. I am not excited about these colder temperatures, but, you know, the first flakes of the season are always extremely exciting. You know, it's always fun for the kids, especially getting to watch their reactions. So that's what we'll be contending with tomorrow. Just some light snow showers, maybe picking up a dusting for some on grassy and elevated surfaces. Not expecting too much of an impact to our roads. I do think there will be wet, maybe a few slick spots, but for the most part, just making sure you're using extra caution and giving yourself some extra time to head out the door tomorrow morning. And then, of course, remembering you're layering up because those wind chills will be down in the teens as you're waking up tomorrow morning, and then again for Tuesday morning. But then we start to warm up there, climbing up towards 60 and reaching 70 by Saturday. So that's all I've got here for the forecast. I'm going to hop off the live stream. I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody, stay safe, stay warm, and have a great rest of your night.